Good morning.
Good morning.
We meet again
Yes.
on this Thursday, our
Friday.
last day to go live this week.
Yes, but it's Friday Eve. Please give it the recognition it deserves.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, I do. I'm quite confident.
So we meet again to discuss all the things happening in Disney World,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes. It took me a second. My brain is just not firing. But yes, in Disney World, let's
Hmm.
discuss what is going on.
Nothing.
Not much.
Okay, we're done. No, there's a couple of news things to talk about today. What would you like to discuss?
Well, I think this morning the Garden View Lounge reservations opened up. And I was up kind of early this morning and took a look, and there wasn't a whole bunch of availability. Not surprising.
It's sold out in an hour.
Yeah. So that one is probably going to remain popular for a while. Not only is it like limited times and such, but it's also just new, and new things are always quite popular and difficult to snag.
For example, Beacon Barrel was very difficult at first, and it's
Mhm.
not anymore.
No, it's not difficult at all. Something that I wasn't aware of, and maybe they had announced earlier, but it doesn't look like they do reservations on Mondays and Tuesdays. It is
Hmm.
just Wednesday through Sunday.
Hmm.
So that's something to keep in mind when you're planning. If you're thinking that you'd like to go, just make sure you know that you can't do it on a Monday or Tuesday. And then um, the other thing was that those prices at $79 and $49, know that you're not getting like a full meal for that. You are getting a tea service. So
Hmm.
just keep that in mind.
I think the note about it not being open on certain days is good to know about everything that you're trying to book
Mhm.
because, for instance, we stayed at Fort Wilderness, and so I was like, "Oh, I'm going to book everything at Fort Wilderness," and then in that process, I was like, "Oh yeah, Hoopty Doo is not available 2 days a week, and like
Mhm.
certain activities are only available." So, if you ever want to know that information, you can go on the Disney World website on the page for that thing, and there's a calendar box, and it'll show you the days that it's open.
Yeah.
Except the Garden View information, I couldn't see that it had been updated online yet. But
Yeah.
it should be soon.
Yes. And the only reason I saw that was when I was looking at the reservation calendar, and Mondays and Tuesdays look like they were blocked out. So if I'm wrong about that, my bad.
My bad. No, I think you're right.
Okay.
What else?
Um, I think the other thing is that it looks like Buzz has updated what they have on written, about it on the website, which makes me excited because that means we're getting closer to when the attraction will be opening. And they've changed the wording just a little bit to acknowledge the fact that you've got handheld blasters.
This whole section right here, I think, has been updated, but I want to point out something to you. So I'm in Mexico and it defaults to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
And you can see that a lot of the stuff at the top is in Spanish and at the bottom is in Spanish, but this new part is in English. So, what this part says is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin is almost back. It's almost back. And so, yesterday, one of the questions we had was, "Do you think Buzz Lightyear will be open by spring break?" So this feels hopeful. We don't know
Yes.
it for sure, but it says it'll be power packed with more fun at Magic Kingdom Park. Star Command's top minds have added a series of enhancements, including handheld blasters for more freedom of movement, additional interactive targets, scores that go light years beyond which you can imagine, and Buddy, our newest crew member. Don't miss your chance to team up with Buzz and save the galaxy on a supercharged adventure with fun that goes to infinity and beyond. And then the concept art is right there at the top. But I'm so excited about the new handheld blasters
I am too.
because, like in Disney Land,
And
theirs has had the handheld ones
mhm,
that you could pick up and move around.
move around.
They're not stuck.
Yes, I think it helps for multiple reasons. Not only do I think it's easier to shoot the targets, but it also means you don't have to move the your ride vehicle as much, which is nice because that usually defaults to one person. And so then one person is focusing on pointing the
Hmm.
vehicle towards the direction
Hmm.
that is best for them and not necessarily best for what you're trying to shoot, which can really, that really slows down my ability to try to dominate in all. Disney World games.
Yeah, exactly. You will win if we are together, so don't sweat it.
Maybe I don't know. I think you've won plenty of times, but I would like to increase my chances by not having to worry about trying to steer and shoot at the same time.
My scores on that and Toy Story Mania have not improved in 20 years. So I really need to think about how to redo this because
Some
clearly
strategy, some
I'm
training.
I'm never above say the level from the trip before or the before that or before that. So maybe this will be
This
easier.
is going to be your year. I feel it. I feel it.
Maybe so. And then what else?
Well, there's a new video that's floating around.
Well, Disney posted it
Mhm.
and it is for the Flower and Garden Festival, but I wanted to share a little bit of background because this person was new to me
Mhm.
and you, I
Same.
think.
Mhm.
Okay. So there is this person named Noah, and he has a channel where he does all of these Disney videos. And so this one is set to the We Didn't Start the Fire, but it's
Mhm.
We Didn't Spark the Magic. And it's this like it,
People move a
right?
pirate ride, haunted mansion, swamp is dried, magic kingdom light.
You get the vibe, right?
Yeah.
He just does a lot of these. And so they had him come in and do a video
Spicy pickled
to
peppers and
promote
peanuts.
Flower and Garden
And it
Festival.
wouldn't be a
And
celebration
it's
without
pretty
some
cute.
chicken
Like I'm
waffles.
actually
A sweet
impressed
honey
that Disney
bacon
is kind of
cornbread
branching
waffle
out and trying new
with honey
things,
butter
which they
and
have been doing
orange
a lot
blossom
lately.
honey.
And
Yes.
so
And to
instead of just being
complete
like,
this
here's what
cornucopia
we
of
have,
flavors,
they had him come
Mhm.
into like
limoncello
Living
basil
with the
sparkling
Land
cocktail
and
with sparkling
showcase
wine,
different
Seagram
items.
club
And there's
soda,
a song
and
element to
limoncello
it. And
liqueur.
they show on the map where you can find these different
Okay.
items.
Enough with the music.
And I don't know. I just am proud of Disney for trying things.
I am too. It's fun to see them like going all in on some of the trends and things that they kind of avoided, I think, out of some sort of fear, unnecessary fear. But I feels like they've got maybe some younger people in some positions who are helping to push and make some decisions that are a little bit more now.
Yeah, and I think it had to have been this is my theory. So when TikTok first launched and Disney was like, "Okay, I guess we
Mhm.
should be here." TikTok's so fast. Like
Mhm.
you have to get on trends so fast, and they were publishing things 3 weeks later. Like, and
Mhm.
people would be like, "No, we don't want to see this 3 weeks after,"
Yeah.
because they had so many layers of approval. So my theory is that they redid how a lot of their internal, like social media and digital marketing things work to reduce the layers of approval or friction. Like we've
Mhm.
got to go fast. And so I think that that has allowed them to branch into these different areas. Let's try some things. Let's do some things. Let's feel like we're, you know, participating.
Participating in
Yeah.
culture right now. Did you see, kind of related, I think we talked about this, but I can't remember, where they split up High School Musical and posted it on, I believe, TikTok, like in chunks,
Uh,
just like you often see now, like movies and stuff chunked up.
Yeah.
But they
But
did this,
I did
but
not know that.
they did that just to kind of get people talking in the comments and, people engaged in this. We're all watching it together kind of atmosphere and get people ex excited about it, so
That really surprises me
mhm.
because whenever people post things on TikTok in chunks, it's clearly like, pirated or whatever.
Yes.
And so it feels like Disney is encouraging that a little bit, but
Yeah.
that's kind of that's fun of them.
Yeah, verticals are, I think, going to be a big thing, like figuring out entertainment that is done intentionally vertically. And that's one way to utilize, I guess, old content to make that a thing. But I would not be surprised to see more of that vertical kind of entertainment being something that becomes more of a norm.
Mhm. Wouldn't be surprised either. Um, any other news?
No, again, kind of slow. Thank you.
Well, it doesn't give us much to talk about though. But we'll keep working on things because been very busy on some lightning lane related things. We wanted to talk today about saving on lightning lanes because it's not cheap.
No, and I feel this personally because yesterday I realized that for my trip next week, yesterday was actually my day to book, and I realized this like at 5:30 last night. So I had to rush around and get some lightning lanes purchased, and I only purchased 2 multi-passes and 4 single passes. Do you wanna guess my total?
Just for you?
Yeah,
I'm guessing it was 130.
$142.
Mm,
$142.
for one
And then I
person.
just yeah, for one person. I do the math for a family of 4, and it makes me feel kinda queasy, so figuring out how to save a little bit is good for all of us.
Yeah, we'll give you some tips on how to save and then also help you figure out how to calculate what it's going to cost for your trip.
Mhm.
What is your first tip for saving on lightning lanes, ma'am?
It would be to don't buy it all if you don't want to or if you don't need to. So if you're somebody who is really good about getting up and making rope drop and utilizing early entry, if you don't mind using single rider lines, which are on some of the biggest attractions like Test Track and Remy's and Smuggler's Run, Rock and Roller Coaster. Though, if you are okay using single rider for those, if your group configuration works for that, that's another way you can kind of have an alternative to purchasing something expensive like multipass. So um, just don't buy it.
Don't buy it at all.
Don't buy it.
You know what? Cost free.
Uh huh.
You may end up waiting in some lines
Mm-hmm.
outside of rope drop and outside of single rider and things like that, but you can do it.
Yes.
Okay. Another idea is to only buy it for the parks where it matters the most.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is also where it's the most expensive because Disney knows where
Yes.
people are buying lightning lanes. So the two parks that we recommend it for and the two most expensive parks for lightning lanes are Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. And that's where it's easy to get a bunch
Yeah.
and really make the most use of it. We do also recommend the single pass for Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot and Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom. So even if you skip the multi pass there, those single passes can be super helpful and save you a lot of time. So
Mm-hmm.
if you just want to pick and choose, those are the ones we would want you to choose to save the most time.
Yes. Another idea is to utilize park hopping, not just because you can get more attractions done in a day, possibly, but also because you can actually save a little bit. So, for example, if you started your day at Animal Kingdom, which is the least expensive park to buy multipass for,
Mhm.
and rightfully so, because it's got what, 4 attractions and a few shows? 4 attractions, well, 4 rides,
Rides.
4 rides and a few shows. If you start at Animal Kingdom and you need to tap into that first attraction, whatever it is, after that, you can then book additional experiences in other parks. So, rope drop, Animal Kingdom, tap into your first ride there, and then start booking over at Magic Kingdom. Now, you're not going to get the advantage of being able to pre select.
Mhm.
So, your options may be more limited and they will be more limited, but you could really maximize your day by whipping through some attractions over at Animal Kingdom and then heading over and getting a little bit more value for your dollar.
Mhm. So essentially, you're paying for the least expensive park, but
Mhm.
using lightning lanes in the more expensive parks.
Yes, and the key to that though, to really make it work is to after you do use your first one in that least expensive park to then go ahead and switch all of your multi-pass selections back over to the more expensive park, which means if you're going to stay in that first park, you're going to need to tour smart and do it without lightning lanes. But Animal Kingdom, that's not too difficult to do.
It isn't, not these days, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Another tip is to save money on lightning lanes is to travel during a less expensive time of year. So this tip is going to be how to save money overall
Mm-hmm.
because prices vary on hotels and they also vary on lightning lanes. So if you want to save money on lightning lanes and hotel, then you can travel during a less expensive time of year and less busy and less expensive usually coincide. So you also get lower crowds.
Yes. And then another good tip is to look at the price difference between buying a after hours ticket versus adding on or using a regular park ticket plus lightning lane and those passes. And oftentimes those prices are going to be pretty close, and it might make more sense for your family or your group to, instead of going into the park all day, to buy a after hours ticket and skip buying a park ticket and multi-pass and single pass for that day.
Yeah. So instead of buying a regular park ticket and then also having to buy lightning lanes,
Mhm.
then you can just choose to get after hours, and they don't have lightning lanes.
Mm-mm.
So it's kind of nice. The downside though is it's not always available.
No.
So if you were to go during, sometimes you could go to 3 different parks, depending on how
Mhm.
the timing works out. For instance, if you're going in April, I don't know if you can see my cursor here, you could get 2 parks right here. You could get, 2 parks here. So it's not always available. But if it is, you could do this instead
Yeah,
of a park ticket and you don't have to buy lightning lanes at all.
correct.
In addition, there's extra entertainment and stuff.
Yes. And you still get, because your ticket is gonna get you into the park early, you don't, your ticket gets you in earlier than when the event actually starts. You
Mhm.
still get several hours in the park to be able to knock things out. And with lower lines, it really does make it a great way to get a lot of attractions done without having to wait in super long lines.
And I think one last thing that you can do is you can use extended evening theme park hours. These are only for deluxe and villa guests, and they take place in 2 parks a week. And
Mhm.
it is essentially letting you in the park after the regular hours to just hang out with the other deluxe and villa guests.
Yes, and it's not, that is not as good as an after hours thing, but it is included in the cost of your reservation for those deluxe resorts, and you can usually bet on getting at least one headliner and maybe a couple other of the lower tiered attractions done. You're not gonna get everything done, but it's a good way to knock out one of those super popular ones at least, and then a few of the lesser ones.
Yeah, it doesn't last long enough for
Mm-mm.
you to get like a ton done. But for things that you might want to buy lightning lanes for, you could do it during this time period instead. So, those are some different ways to do it. But if you are wanting to compute it for your trip, we have a handy dandy new tool, don't we, Heather?
Yes, we do.
So we have a lightning lane cost calculator that allows you to put in the number of guests, the season that you're traveling, how many days you're going to be in the parks, and then you can go through and choose, are you park hopping, are you using Premier Pass, do you want the single pass, etc. And at the bottom it'll tell you the estimated cost and the time saved. So you
Yes.
can decide, is 10 and a half hours of time saved worth $447, for example.
Mhm.
And we're very, very happy about this.
Yeah. Very excited because it is kind of a shock to people how expensive it can be. And when these purchases are happening, it's 7 days if you're staying on site before your trip. And that can be a lot of money off of your trip budget to drop before you even are thinking about going to the airport. So knowing ahead of time can make it a little bit easier and also let you decide, which parks do I really want it for? Like maybe you go into it thinking, I'm going to buy it for everything because I don't want to wait in any lines. But I think this will hopefully help give you a visual representation of ways you can kind of adjust your budget a little bit to make it work for what you were expecting.
Yeah. So in the example earlier where we said maybe only pick it for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios, you could literally just go through here and toggle things on and off just to see what the overall total is.
Hmm.
Like I just unclicked it for one park day and it reduced my total by over $100. So, you know, just lots of different ways to kind of play with it and figure out what you actually want to spend money on.
Yeah.
So, anyway, make sure to check out our calculator if you want to know how much it's going to be when your booking window opens up.
I feel
Anything?
very low in the screen.
Do you need a booster chair?
I might.
I always feel like my head is filling the space. Anyway, okay. So let's see what we have for comments. First of all, we must start with good morning. Good
Good morning.
morning. Good morning. Jennifer says, "Morning, I'm on the treadmill prepping for French this weekend. So happy to catch a live session. You might see Heather there."
Yeah, I will be there.
Feedback on Saratoga Springs Villa and his Disney dining plan recommended for a family who eats less, 2 adults and a 7-year-old. Well, Saratoga Springs Villa is going to be big,
Mhm.
and that's nice. So my overall thoughts are you're going to have lots of space. It's going to be quiet. I think Saratoga Springs and Old Key West skew more multi-generational.
Mhm.
So you're more likely to see a wide range of ages there. Also, the transportation can be a little bit tricky.
Mhm.
So we are likely to have our own car or use rideshare or like including minivans when we stay somewhere like that.
Yeah. The resort being all DVC, those all DVC resorts, they're just big, right? Because there's lots and lots of buildings that are like apartment buildings, basically. You've got studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom grand villas. So their footprint is quite large compared to the DVC pieces that are attached to other resorts. So like Beach Club um, and even I would say like the towers now. So you got Riviera and Bay Lake Tower. So just keep that in mind. So big footprint, more like a traditional apartment complex, right? And having a car will make it a lot easier, or being flexible enough to use, like Shannon said, like use that ride share or use minivans.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a kid, or well, even me as an adult, the having the in room washer and dryer, I love that so much.
That is really nice. The
Yeah.
second part of the question is about the dining plan.
Mhm.
And it is hard for us to know if it's worth it.
Mhm.
Probably not. But because we like to create tools for everything, we do have a calculator for the
Mhm.
dining plan. And you can put in the details about your party and your trip dates and how you normally eat.
Mhm.
Like, do you normally order water or alcohol? How many snacks do you typically order? Are you normally a dessert person? Select the restaurants you're thinking about, and then we'll tell you at the end if we recommend the dining plan. Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. So I'll link to that as well in the comments here. Just let me link to all the calculators this morning. So hopefully that is helpful to you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what other comments we've got going on over here. Um, Yikes! I just used your lightning lane tool. $1,400 for 5 park days for a family of 6. And
Oh.
Christine, this is why we do it because although the number is awful to see, at
Mhm.
least you know, and you're not surprised 7 days before your trip when you're trying to make those
Mhm.
reservations. And you can maybe pick and choose. Like instead of getting it for all the days, do you want to just get it for some?
Yeah.
Because maybe you cut the total in half.
Which is
So
still, remember when it used to be free?
yeah, FastPass Plus was my jam.
Mhm.
Absolutely loved it. But anyway, sorry about the totals that you're going to see, but at least you know now and you can prepare before it's time to book your lightning lanes. All right. I think that is going to be it. We are going to be back on Monday because Fridays we spend with patrons. So if you're not already a patron, feel free to join us over there. But we'll be back Monday.
Mm. Bye.